In week 2, our focus is on the Roman poet Virgil, who lived from the year 70 BCE until the year 19 BCE. That's before the Common Era or the birth of Christ. Those dates are significant as Virgil was retroactively blessed by medieval Christian thinkers who saw in his poetry a message of proto-Christianity. Here are some familiar materials from your earlier presentation. Virgil styled his career according to the model of the Rota Virgiliana, or the Virgilian wheel. Within that structure, the poet writes works appropriate to his or her age, with the younger poet writing youthful and celebratory bucolics or eclogues, the middle-aged poet writing practical georgics, and the older poet writing serious and culture-defining works of epic. Later poets tracked Virgil's career after this model and patterned their own development according to it. Apologies for the small print here, but it would be worthwhile to pause and review this material. Here is some information about two of Virgil's better-known pastoral poems, Eclogue 1 and Eclogue 4. The first concerns a nuanced dialogue between two shepherds, Melibæus or Melibea and Tityrus, who live at the edge of Rome and struggle to maintain their farms in its shadow. The fourth eclogue introduces the figure of Pollio, a messianic boy king who promises to remake the world in a glorious and new golden age. Any medieval reader would note the proto-Christian overtones to this message, which is among the many reasons for why the 13th century Italian, really Florentine poet Dante styles the Roman poet as his guide through his Inferno. Of primary concern for our purposes is the ways in which Virgil styles his epic Aeneid squarely in the Homeric tradition. Bound by his duty to his Trojan homeland and by the prophecy of Anchises, his deceased father, Aeneas leads a group of exiles across the seas away from the captured city of Troy to the Roman peninsula, where they settle and then do battle in a heroic effort to create a new society. The emphasis on pietas, or duty, stands as one of the great themes of this Virgilian epic, and it is worth your while to pause here again and review this explanation. Situating Virgil's epic poem into the context of history, it is important to understand how it served the Emperor Augustus's purposes as pro-Roman propaganda. As epics tend to do, it lent moral force to the ambitions of the culture and established the empire's duty to rule and colonize, offering ideas that once again continue to resonate across the centuries. To that end, another pause and review of this slide would be appropriate. As noted previously, the Aeneid conjoins the Homeric motifs of travel, captured in the Odyssey, in its first half, and battle, as depicted in the Iliad, in its second half. Virgil was writing in conscious imitation of these Homeric models, and again, the goal of his epic was to provide a foundational story by which Roman culture could define itself. As before, please pause to review the passages on this slide. To conclude, Virgil had many goals to achieve in composing his epic, and across the body of his works as a whole we see a number of influential motifs, themes, and characters which capture his ongoing relevance across the centuries. Thank you for watching this presentation.